So we're here in Clovis, California, and we are taking a look at a water leak out in the front yard. First thing we do want to do is check the meter, and this is providing that no one's home and no water is running. Let's just say you have a toilet that is running because the flapper's bad, or you have a pool filler valve in the back and it's filling the pool. Things like that we don't know, we can't check. But if the water were off to the home, we would certainly know. Now, we would normally shut the water off up here, but as you can see, the shut-off valves are old and in disrepair. That's as old as they come. I'm thinking these buildings are 50s, 60s, maybe? Don't know. But that shut-off valve on the left, that's old. This one over here, just as old, and the handle's about snapped off. So we don't want to touch the plumbing, because when we do, we become responsible for any repairs that happen after that. So if everything off is in the home, and nobody's home right now, so we're assuming that there's no water running in the home. With that said, you can see out here at the meter, the city gives you a nice little indicator right here. It tells you what's going on. Right here in the box, you can see normally there's there's the meter right there, and then you can see the numbers that are digital, not digital, but anyways, it tells you how much water you're using. But over here on the left, let's see if we can clean it up a little bit. Over here on the left, you can see there's a little triangle. It's red, and that is what they label as their leak detector. Let's see if we can get you a better picture of that. So that little triangle is spinning currently. Sorry about the shaking, but you can see it's moving counterclockwise pretty aggressively, actually. So you have a substantial leak in the yard. There's nothing happening in the box here, so I would say, you're okay here for now. Honestly, you will have trouble here at some point, because what you got from the meter box going up into your yard is a piece of iron pipe. I don't know how long it is. Typically it's anywhere from 5 foot to 10 foot in, because it's required when you're in a sidewalk that you use a rigid pipe, which is copper, brass, galvanized iron pipe, anything. But the cheapest is galvanized iron pipe, so that's what you get. And of course that corrodes and breaks down. At this point, there's nothing wrong with it, because there's no water in here, there's no water out here. Where we're getting water is right up here. You can see it. Standing water. And then of course up here, you can see it's beginning to pool up. This is where it's bubbling up. But that's not an indicator that that is where your leak is at. Water usually will just travel to a point to where it feels comfortable, and then it'll expose itself. Digging down right here may or may not show you the leak. It certainly can, but this is what we've got. We've got this tree, and you can see these roots. That's massive. That's huge. You can see the roots there, here, all around, and you can see it just, a lot of them are surface roots heading out. You can imagine once you start digging the root system that's below soil. So it becomes very problematic to get down to any kind of repair, whether it's out at the meter, which you're going to have a root system out there from this tree. It's going all the way out to the meter, and it's just spreading out through the lawn. Normally what we would do is a PVC repair only in the lawn, runs about $4.95. Meter repair, which means replacing the iron pipe to the meter, runs about $7.95. In this case, the price goes up, because it's going to take equipment to get in here and dig this out. It's going to be pretty aggressive digging, mainly because of this tree. So it's great shade, but I believe it's separated your line, which means either it's got to be a joint somewhere. I would say from the meter they came out straight in, and then maybe 45'd over, and then 45'd over again, and then when you can see there's the shut-off valve, which is let's say right in there. There's the shut-off valve right there, and so that shut-off valve, so it comes out, and there's some fittings out here. It's got to be either that or it just plain pushed the pipe and broke it. But usually a fitting is split, and that'll tell you PVC repair in the yard. And so what we'll do, we've documented it. I won't go on and on about it, but you're just in a very bad place because your line is next to this huge tree. Worst case scenario, new line from the house, which means all new. You don't stop at the valves either. You come in here, you can see where the pipe is stubbed out. One of them is the main to the home, which is the one coming right here. That's the main to the home. This one here is a shutoff valve to sprinklers somewhere. I don't know where the valves are. They could be around the side yard. It could be out front. I don't know. But one's to irrigation. But this is the main. It's on first, which tells me that's the main shutoff to the home. And then the other one here, irrigation for sprinklers, front, back. I don't know where else. Maybe just front, and then you've got another line out back that comes out of the wall for sprinklers out back. So my recommendation is a new line from the street to the house. All of this gets replaced. Iron pipe gets a new fitting on there to make a transition to copper, and then copper fittings, and then all of this down into soil goes away. The valves, you get brand new valves, brass valves for both shutoffs, and then PVC down into soil, and then a new line, PVC going all the way out to the street. So it's expensive, and what we'll do is we'll get you a proposal out. You can certainly come out here and try and patch it for right now. If it's just one split 90, all you need to do is find it, get it dug up, get it repaired. But because of the digging, that $495 that we talked about earlier probably does not apply, because we base it on man hours and digging, and this digging is going to present a little bit of a problem, unfortunately. So we'll get you a price here real quick, or within the next hour or two, and then we can go from there. Hopefully it becomes a good repair, and you don't have to worry about it again. But you just have that huge tree and a plastic pipe down here. So unfortunately that's the way it is. Outside of that, this inspection is done. So fitting, water, it's split, and that's it. Let me shut it off before we flood the ditch. So we're still here in Clovis, California. We just finished repairing this water line. Whenever I get a break, either usually at a fitting, whether it's a 90 or a 45, I like to do a solvent connection, which means glued. So some folks will come in here and use a repair coupling, just cut out the bad fitting, which you can see laying down there. This little coupling right here, right there, that little feller. There's a little dent on it and a crack. That's weird. I wonder if something was growing against it. Anyways, so but that repair coupling has a gasket on it, and it is subject to leaking, which is fine, except you got this tree right here, and then the roots go for it. So whatever was on the line or under the line, and when I dug it up, I didn't really see anything, but it certainly appears that not only is it cracked right here, it's split, it's also dented. See the dent? Sorry, it's not focusing. There's a dent. So I don't know what happened there, but anyways, that's the crack, that's the fitting. It came out. Solvent weld, so it's all glued, which means if done correctly, no water comes out ever again, and therefore this tree doesn't hunt for the water with this root system. And we got very lucky here when we dug this up. You can see the roots, all of that, everything above ground, like a big monster coming in and out. And we dug this out, and there was just a couple little roots down there, nothing. So that was good, and it's sandy soil. A little too moist right now, but you can see it's sandy, so this soil percolates real well. Water will dry up and disappear, as opposed to other parts of town where the water just stands there. It's either got clay, hard pan, something like that. So anyways, I wanted to document the repair. You've got 4 more fittings in line, which does cause a little bit of pressure loss. However, not a lot. That does not count for a lot, and I highly doubt you'll see any effect to the home. It's a 1-inch iron pipe, which is over there, and let me see if I can get you over there. Right there, that's the iron pipe coming out, and it's a raised wood floor. So it's only 1 inch to the home, 1.25 line to the house, so that's good. Anyways, we're gonna let it dry and go ahead and backfill it, and we'll try not to forget. We'll try not to forget and take another video once we got this all backfilled. So water's back onto the home, and I'm reading this upside down, but that's fine. And you can see the little indicator, the little triangle red, is not moving. So that's good, which means, you know, leak's gone. And that's how you tell if you got a leak in the house or a leak in the line out front. Shut the house down, leave the meter on, and then just wait for that little triangle to turn. So anyways, that's good. And also up here, what we like to do, this is really sandy soil. However, we still like to come back in with dry all-purpose sand and fill around our pipe. And the reason being is, you know, once this is back down there, we don't want, and like I say, if you let this dry out a little bit, this would be great for backfilling because it's sandy. But there's always a chance that you get, you know, too much dirt, too much water, and then that's mud, and it pushes the fittings around. So what we like to do is fill it in all the way up to the top of the pipe with sand, and then go ahead on top of that and backfill the dirt. So that's what it looks like right now. Water is on, and there's no leaking down there, so that's good. And it doesn't appear that there's any other leaking. So you can see this line kind of heads straight out to the water service over there, and I think it looks like it heads straight over to the water meter at the street. So probably a couple fittings over there, a couple fittings over there. Beyond that, there might be another coupling in the middle between the two because it's over 20 feet away. But there's not. There's one other tree over there. It's a little bit smaller, so you should be okay. Everything should be fine. We're gonna get this filled up. Take another video when we're done. So still in Clovis, California, and got it all backfilled. It's underneath there. These were some existing, I don't know, like landscape pavers, long ones that they were sunken into the ground because of all the water. They were underneath. And so when we dug it up, we popped them back out. There's probably a few more around here, but that was where we were digging, so we got those out. Just put them back in place. You know, feel free to do whatever you'd like with those. Kind of takes off and does something different over here. I think some of them are broken, whatever. But we got your little stones back in place too. We just kind of threw them out there. Feel free to do what you want with those as well. None of them got broken, so that's good. They're just kind of laid out there. So anyways, water's back onto the home. We're backfilled and cleaned up. We didn't cause too much damage out here. You know, usually we're out at the street working on the piece of pipe coming from the meter, so the sidewalk's dirty, the street's dirty, whatnot. So fortunately it was all up here, and everything looks good outside of that. This installation is done.